Welcome to the first video in this 4-part series on Active Travel Planning 101, before, during, and after your walk, ride, or roll. This video series is part of our Safe Routes to Parks and Healthy Retail initiative funded by Sacramento County Public Health. Our first video will focus on route planning to get you to your destination by foot, bike, mobility device, or any set of human-powered wheels safely and efficiently. Route planning is planning out your rolling, cycling, or walking route to a particular destination. Planning your route involves more than just figuring out how to get from point A to point B. You will also want to assess various routes in terms of what cyclist or pedestrian facilities are available, such as bike lanes and sidewalks, and identify any potentially challenging points like busy intersections. Whether your route is round trip or one way, route planning is one of the most important things you can do to stay safe while walking, cycling, or rolling. When you are not familiar with your route, you can become distracted and less aware of your surroundings. Thus, knowing where to go ahead of time allows you to stay confident and alert. Anytime you are going to a new destination or to a destination you have never traveled to by bike, scooter, or mobility device before. A few examples of destinations you may want to trip plan for include parks, healthy retail sites, job centers, and health clinics. Now let's go through a couple of tools and resources to help you plan your next walking, rolling, or cycling trip. Google Maps is a free, easy-to-use trip planning tool. To begin, type in google.com/maps into your web browser on your computer or mobile device. In the search bar in the upper left-hand corner, enter in the address or location of your starting point. Next, hit the Directions button and enter the address or location of your destination. Google Maps will automatically switch your starting point to your destination, so be sure to hit the arrows on the right to reverse the starting point and destination. Once you have your start and end points, click on the walking or cycling icon in the top left to get cycling or walking directions. Google's cycling directions use topography, traffic signal timing, and available cyclist facilities to determine optimal cycling routes. However, you can customize your route as you please by dragging the blue line where you want. Note that the distance and trip duration are calculated for you in the left-hand column. To get a better look at road conditions, you might want to switch to satellite view, which you can access in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Once you have the satellite view up, ask yourself a couple of questions. Does this route look safe? Is the suggested route along a busy street? Are there streets that run parallel that are less stressful to walk or bike on? If you need to cross the street, where's the safest place to cross? As an example of the kinds of things you might want to take notice of when route planning, we will compare 3 different cycling routes to get from this apartment complex on North Avenue to the Viva supermarket on Marysville Boulevard in Del Paso Heights. So Google has generated 3 different cycling route options for us. The first one is North Avenue to Balsam Street. So zooming in, North Avenue doesn't have a bike lane, but it does have stop signs at many of the side streets and marked crosswalks at larger 4-way intersections. It looks like it could be somewhat busier in terms of traffic compared to some of the smaller residential streets, but again, those stop signs and crosswalks will make me feel a little bit safer. And Balsam Street also does not have a bike lane, but it looks to be a bit more of a residential street, so there's likely lighter traffic, slower moving vehicles. There are also speed bumps in a couple of places to help slow traffic, which I like. The second option is Branch Street to Grand Avenue. So Branch Street does not have a bike lane either, but it is on a smaller residential street. So again, there's likely lighter, slower moving traffic. Moving down to Grand Avenue looks to be a bit more of a major street, so there is likely more traffic and faster moving vehicles here. However, there is a designated bike lane, so that might make me feel a bit more protected compared to some of the other route options without bike lanes. This route is also slightly longer than the other two routes by 0.2 miles, so that may or may not make a difference to me. The last option is Harris Avenue via North Avenue and Clay Street, Dry Creek Road Alley. So this is the same distance, 1 mile, as the first option, but it does appear to be the most direct route, so that's nice and easy. Same observations for North Avenue. Not too busy of a street, has the stop signs and designated or marked crosswalks. Just taking a look at the satellite imagery, I'm unsure about the conditions of the alley. Maybe there's uneven pavement and difficult conditions for riding, so maybe I want to drag the route to go south on Dry Creek Road instead, so just moving that one street over. And similar to North Avenue, Harris Avenue also doesn't have a bike lane, but it does have stop signs at side streets and four-way stops at larger intersections. So in the end, I think I would feel most comfortable cycling along option 3, Harris Avenue via North Avenue and Dry Creek Road, because it is the most direct route, it has stop signs and marked crosswalks, and it primarily keeps me on calmer residential streets. Now that you have identified your route, you have the option to create a personalized and annotated route map with Google My Maps, which you can access at google.com/mymaps. Please note you will need to create a Google account if you don't already have one to sign in. To begin, give your map a title like My Route to the Grocery Store. Add a location like your home, school, or place of work by typing the address in the search bar for your starting destination. Click Add to Map to add the location to your map. Click the Paint bucket to edit the icon and color of that location. Repeat the last 2 steps for all locations you want on your map. Once you have added your starting point and ending point, click the Draw a Line button to add your walking or biking route. Be sure to double-click on your endpoint to stop drawing. The drawing feature can be a bit finicky, so you may need to click and drag the small white circles in case you accidentally draw any unwanted segments. When you're done, click Preview to view your finished map. Once in preview mode, you can share, edit, or print your map. Run by the Sacramento Transportation Management Authority, Sac Region 511 is a one-stop shop for commuters in the Sacramento area, complete with resources, incentive programs, and a multimodal trip planner tool that we will be walking through in this video. To access the trip planner, type in sacregion511.org into your browser on your phone or computer. Enter the address of your starting point and destination and hit Let's Go. On the left, select your preferred mode of travel. There are options for carpooling, walking, cycling, transit, vanpool, and driving. It even gives you CO2 calculations to show how many emissions you might be saving. Once you select your mode, it will show you several route options, including distance and estimated travel time. Toggle on and off the map layers on the right to see bike share locations, traffic conditions, and more. Similar to Google Maps, you can also change your base layer to satellite view so you can zoom in to observe road conditions and available pedestrian and cyclist facilities. Lastly, you can create a free account to save your commute by selecting Save This Commute in the upper left. Saving your commute allows you to easily access your route in your dashboard and also share it with others to connect with even more commuters. One final trip planning tool we would like to highlight in this video is Google's Transit Trip Planner feature, which is available on SacRT's website at www.sacrt.com/tripplanner. This tool will come in handy if you would like to combine your active transportation trip with transit to reach your destination. Don't forget to check out the quick links on the right to access other helpful resources, including routes and schedule information, as well as the RT bus tracker for estimated travel times. To use the transit planner, begin by entering your start and end point in the boxes provided. Select the date and time you would either like to depart or arrive by and hit Go. The site will take you to Google directly, which will look very similar to the Google Maps page we saw in the beginning of this video. On the left, you will see a suggested route, which includes walking directions, estimated travel time, and distance from your starting point to the transit stop and from the transit stop to your destination. It will also give you route information, including the route name, number, and which stops you will be getting on and off at. Stay tuned for the third video in this series to learn about how to ride bus and rail with your bike. These tools are great to help you get started trip planning, but if you are able, it is always a good idea to observe or practice your route in person. For instance, you might consider driving along a potential route initially to observe how it might be if you are walking, cycling, or rolling. You could also try walking or rolling along a potential route during off-peak hours or weekends to avoid heavy traffic. Congratulations! You have your route officially mapped out. For additional resources, check out the City of Sacramento Bicycle Master Plan and Sacramento County Bikeway Maps to help you plan your route. Stay tuned for the next video on important safety tips and checks you should review before your ride or walk.